Hey everyone, this is Charles Botts here with your Midweek Recharge. And I know we've been off for a couple weeks, but I had a good one and I wanted to make sure I got it out. So I've been thinking a lot about authority, actually, and the way kind of authority works. And I was never a big fan of this particular show, but I think it's a great illustration. Do you guys remember Undercover Boss? Do you remember the premise? If you're not familiar, you haven't heard of it before, it was this idea that these presidents, these CEOs of these large organizations, these large companies, these large enterprises would dress up and function as a frontline person. Not necessarily as anyone in sort of management, but they would just work the job of a frontline individual. So there were examples of like large franchise owners, and so they would work as a cashier or the CEO of a huge distribution company, and so they would work in a warehouse, and so you kind of get the idea. And so what was interesting about this concept is that the other people that were working with this person had no idea who they were. They didn't recognize their authority. So even though this president, this CEO, was masquerading as a frontline person, that individual still had all the authority that came with their role. And so one of the premise of the show is that at the end of the episode, the CEO, the president, would reveal themselves and celebrate, promote, reward individuals that displayed excellence during their period as a frontline person. And so some people would get promotions, they would get bonuses, they'd get different perks as an expression of gratitude on behalf of the president and CEO. Because even though the president and CEO was masquerading as a frontline person, they still had all the authority that came with their office. And so I think about our God, I think about our Creator, and I think about the fact that there are places where God is not recognized as God. There are places where people don't recognize and see and appreciate and acknowledge God as God. But God still has all authority. God still has all power. Whether God is recognized in that place, in that region, in that area, in that location, in that facility, in that environment or not, God is still God. And so as followers, as believers, as ambassadors of the kingdom, I want you to be encouraged. I want you to be recharged to know it doesn't matter where you go. God is still God, and God still has all authority. So wherever situation you find yourself, whatever circumstance or scenario, wherever you are in the world, take comfort and know that God is still God. That's your midweek recharge.